things opening up the way they did in this last match. You guys almost at full capacity, obviously with Toba not here, but folks healthy, folks together, playing with the lead, a little lightness in the step, having a blast. How much can that help you? How much can this win? You don't want to put too much into it, and yet it's a nice thing to build from. I would think.
Yeah, it was a nice change. No, I think we finally started to click, and like you said, to have everyone back, and we've trained together for a chunk of time now. People healthy. Obviously we were still missing Nadine, but I think we showed what we're capable of doing. We still have a few things we need to iron out. We still gave up quite a few chances. I think they could have tied the game in the first half there, and things could have been different. But it's nice to be on that side of one of those games.
It's been a while.
It's been a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
You and Alex Morgan looked like you're really clicking up top. What do you think it is about bringing her back in? What does that do for you as a player and just the team as a whole?
Well, in that game, Paul, had 5 midfielders playing, and then Alex up top on her own. And, it worked out well. We were able to, I thought, win the ball higher up the field, and then that brings Alex into the game more often. She's got such pace in behind her. I thought, like myself, Sinead, and Vera, we were able to find her a lot. And I think, like I said, hopefully that's just a sign of things to come.
How important is it? You've got a very difficult stretch of games. We've got Wednesday, Saturday.
That's it?
As far as I can remember. You guys see that.
Close enough.
You're athletes.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at was the fact that this gives you a real opportunity to get some points quickly and move over the table in terms of putting yourself back in a position where you want to be.
Yeah, I think for a while we've been looking at the table and been like, oh my God, we're far down. Yet then you look at the amount of games played, and we're below most of the teams that are above us. So, we know that we have these games in hand, but we need to make the most of them. It is difficult playing, Wednesday. It takes a toll on you. But I think now, more than ever this season, we have such a deep squad. We have players that didn't even see the field in Washington that have been starting for us for most of the season. So that's going to come in handy, I think, these next couple games.
When you guys were away with your respective national teams, were you aware of the win that your team was able to pick up against Washington here? Okay.
Of course.
How much does that just kind of get you psyched as well, knowing that you're coming off 2 really tough losses, really brutal losses, and so the big studs are gone, and yet you had players really step up. How critical was that?
Just so proud of them. Players that haven't seen much field time, they were huge for us. I think just to get the win at home, our fans deserve that win. And you saw in that game just the fight. It wasn't always the prettiest game, but those players never gave up. And I think coming back, that's one thing we need to continue. The fight that those players had, I thought we showed that in Washington. And, we need to be known for that for the rest of the season.
What does it do for the team morale to get a blowout win like that in terms of a 6-1 win, in terms of lifting the team up in spirit? Not that they're down, but just having that kind of a win.
I think it's important. Obviously it's nice to win a game 6-1 and finally bury a team. But it's important to not get too high. Just after we lost those 2 games, we didn't get too low. Sticking to process. Obviously, it's nice to win a game 6-1, but we've got another difficult task, and then another one. We enjoyed it for a little bit, but now it's back to business. And, everyone's a little bit lighter. Everyone's a little bit more energized, knowing we're coming off of 2 wins.
And folks thought that you would go into Boston and bury them way back then. Well, if you look at the schedule and you look at this and you look at that on paper, blah blah blah. So folks are looking at that same table and looking at a Sky Blue club that has had trouble scoring goals, has had trouble finishing, haven't won since they beat you guys here. But Paul talks about you guys having that hunger in terms of a revenge and get it right against them. Is that an accurate assessment on his part?
Yeah, I think so. That game left a bitter taste in all our mouths. The way that game ended and them scoring a late goal and us having tons of chances. we don't want that to happen again this whole season. It would be nice to put them away early. Because we do have another huge game, 3 days later. But one game at a time. But yeah, we don't want to experience what we experienced against them ever again.
All right. Thank you so much, Christine.
Good.
Thanks, Christine.
Thanks,
No
eh?
problem.